to another episode of Wrestling with WorldWide Willis. In this podcast, in this episode, is brought to you by the LMG Podcast Network. What up, folks? It's King of the Ring season, Queen of the Ring season. Some of my favorite parts of the year. One of the really underrated parts of the year, especially now that Triple H is over things and we're in the new era. Um, so you know how we started. We're going to start with matches of the week. We got plenty of them this time. And we'll talk about overall King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring, like the process, how good it's been, all that stuff. But wanted to point out some individual matches that I thought were really, really good. So this latest episode, we had Io Sky versus Shayna Baszler. Amazing match. Those two have amazing chemistry going back to NXT. They have really good history. Shout out to Michael Cole for pointing out their history together. Shayna, she just does really well with her, and especially because I think Io sells so well that I think it adds to Shayna, and they're just timing is amazing. And obviously Io got the victory as she should, but they put down like they did their thing, and you could really see how well those two are in the ring together. I'm hoping they get to be in the ring together quite a few times. Obviously, they're on different brands when Io was champ, but yeah, it would be nice to see them two in the ring a couple more times. That'd be really nice. We also got Zoe Starks versus Lyra Valkyria. Really fun match. Really fun one, man. And we'll kind of talk about it, but like this shows you how good the women's division has gotten based off due to the draft, right? And Lyra Valkyria was a call up. Zoe Stark was a call up last year. So yeah, Lyra Valkyria, man, she's killing it so far. Really getting over with the crowd. We'll kind of talk about that a little bit more, but she's doing really well. And this match showed that. And I thought it was two women who could really wrestle. And all four of these women, Io versus Shayna, Zoe versus Lyra Valkyria, really, really good. And it just showed how good these women are. I'll even shout out Naomi and Nia Jax match from SmackDown. They were amazing. They did a really good job. That was a fun match. I want to shout out Nia Jax as well. Like, you know, I gave her a lot of crap. She was not good in the ring in her previous stint. But man, ever since she's come back, she's had good match after good match after good match. You know what I mean? And gotta shout out her. Like she's been doing quality work in the ring, and she's been really safe, right? You could tell she's being more considerate, more, but still, you know, laying into it a little bit. Sometimes the women's division can be a little too considerate, whereas the men just hit you because they know it's nothing personal. Or the women's side, sometimes it's like I'm trying to look out for my homegirl who I'm homegirls with in the back, but I want to look out for her when we're in the ring. And it's like, okay, like let's not pull punches here. Let's at least make it look solid. And so far, they've been doing a good job, and Nia's done a good job with that. So she wanted to shout out her. The women's division is killing it. Queen of the Ring tournament has been awesome. So is the King of the Ring, but I want to really shout out the Queen of the Ring tournament. So, all right, let's talk about some things. First thing that is on my mind and is the hot topic right now in the King of the Ring tournament. Last night I'm recording this on a Tuesday. Obviously, I watched the latest episode of Raw, and on the last episode of Raw, we had in the main event we had Ilya Dragunov versus Jey Uso. Yeet. And so there's a lot of scuttlebutt, a lot of anger, a lot of discussion going on about Jey Uso. He ends up defeating Ilya Dragunov. He ended up defeating Ilya Dragunov clean, right? No help, no distraction, no nothing, right? And some people will say, well, of course, like they're both baby faces. Neither one of them gonna, cheat. And I go, I get that. But I think for me, I think a lot of the confusion is people are like, well, of course Jey won. Like Ilya's new, right? Jey is one of the hottest acts right now. Of course Jey's gonna win. They're gonna have Jey probably in the finals doing the yeet, the intro in Saudi Arabia. Like, why wouldn't you have Jey on that card? It makes sense. And I get that. Totally understand it. However, I think there's a better way to execute this, right? There's a way for Jay to get the win and Ilya to look. And again, I want to clarify: the match was good, and Ilya got his stuff off. Like Ilya got to beat Ilya. It wasn't like he got dog walked or you know what I mean, smashed or any of that stuff. Like it was a solid match, right? They both got their stuff in. Mainly, honestly, Ilya got more stuff in than Jay. But my issue is again execution. Before the match, Ilya cuts a promo and basically talks about how he wants to be the czar of the ring, Russia ties czar, and he talked about how on the other side of the bracket, really it's on the same side, but on the other side of the bracket, he mentioned being the person no one has an answer for, being Gunther, right? No one can beat Gunther, and Ilya is basically saying like, if you look up my resume, I'm the only guy to beat Gunther. Pete Dunne didn't beat Gunther. Tyler Bate didn't beat Gunther. I beat Gunther. You know what I mean? And when he was Walter in UK, when he was the NXT UK champion for a long ass time, like Ilya was the one to defeat him. So he's basically saying like, look at my resume. I'm the guy to do it. And cool, he's talking about him. Well, then Gunther shows up during the promo. They have a little stare off, going about their separate ways. I'm like, perfect. That's amazing. That's great. That gives us history. That lets us know Iliad's past, but also puts him in a certain, like that lets fans who don't know him put him on a certain tier. Because when you're a new wrestler, when a new wrestler pops up and you don't know him, you're like, all right, how good are you? Like, I don't know, are you mid card or are you up in like, upper card, just not there quite yet because you're new? You know what I mean? They don't know where to place them. Whereas that promo let us know where to place Ilya, which is, oh, okay, like you're important. I seen what Gunther's been running through these people. And you beat Gunther, okay, now I know where you stand. And now I know where to envision you in the future. Okay, great. Now we get to the match. Great match, cool, 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 cool. I would have been better. I would have better liked it better if Gunther walks out during the middle of the match. Middle of the match, they're going at it. They're Jay and Ilya are really going at it. And Gunther doesn't get involved. Gunther doesn't run in, doesn't distract, nothing. Gunther just walks in, goes and sits at the commentary table because this is literally his opponent, right? Whoever wins this match goes against Gunther. So it makes sense for Gunther to be out there scouting his next opponent. So you have a reasoning for him to be out there. He comes out there, sits down, and they're, Jay and Ilya are aware of his presence, but they continue battling. Well, maybe things go outside, right? Both going for the top ropes, both end up by the announcer's desk. And Ilya, who has this deep history with Gunther, gets distracted a bit. He's young, right? He's only been on the main roster 3 weeks. So he's due to Gunther being there, no distractions. Again, Gunther does not put a hand on him. It is just face-to-face beef, right? That they had in the promo, face-to-face confrontation. Ilya is so captivated in conquering this beast again that he gets distracted and starts talking trash to Gunther. Basically gives him that, that intensity that Ilya does, that gives you. And then Jay capitalizes on that, catches him slipping, maybe hits him over the head, like super kick, whatever. Nothing too drastic. Don't hit him with a weapon. Nothing non-babyface. Super babyface. I catch you with a little kick, all good. Throws him in the ring. They keep going a little bit more. Boom. Jay catches him, and boom, catches him with a spear out of nowhere. Then hits him with the splash. 1, 2, 3. Right? Still a win. We still accomplish the Jay win. However, we can now put an excuse for Ilya and say, "Oh, you were looking too far ahead." It's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like the Denver Nuggets was looking past the Lakers. They was looking towards Minnesota. They was, you know what I mean? Like in the playoffs and stuff. Like in a bracket, sometimes you got a dub and you look past it because you got a rival at the other side waiting for you who's already won their matchup. You could say, okay, Ilya did that, right? He got distracted. Hey, it bit him in the ass. A loss is a loss. All good. right? To me, that makes more sense than Ilya and Jay going out there and Jay pulling off a dub clean. Like, let's be honest here. Like, Jay ain't beating Ilya in a wrestling match. I don't give a damn if it's South Carolina, North Carolina, Kazakhstan, like Pakistan, Ireland. I don't care. Jay is not going to beat Ilya Dragunov in a wrestling match. A promo, entrance music, all that he clears Ilya. But like in a wrestling match, no way. And even in that match, Ilya was kicking his ass for the most part. So it just didn't make sense to have Jay win that clean. It didn't make any sense to me, right? Because it's like, this person takes pride in being the czar of the mat, right? Like Gunther's the rings in and out. Well, Ilya is the czar of the mat. He's like, I know people don't want to talk about Chris Benoit. I get it. I totally understand. Outside of the ring, he deserves everything he got. But inside that squared circle, Chris Benoit was one of the best to ever do it, and his intensity was like one of one. Well, Ilya has that type of intensity. He brings that type of intensity, which we love, right? And so a person like that going up against a person who's lesser of a wrestler, still good. Like, let's not disrespect. Jay's still good in the ring, right? He's like a 14, 15-year vet, one of the greatest tag team champions of all time, but he's not known as a tactical wizard in the ring. So for him to beat him clean just didn't make sense to me. Again, we can accomplish two things. A babyface versus babyface, there's a way to have a distraction without it leading to one turning into a heel, right? The scenario I laid out, both can still be a babyface, right? It doesn't take away from Jay being a babyface. He didn't capitalize. He didn't hit him with a chair. Nothing. He just caught him slipping. He don't even like Gunther. So so it's just like, I don't know. I just think it was a tough way to start the Ilya, era. I think Ilya will be just fine. But now you have to explain, okay, buddy, you got these vignettes, you got these promos using the main event on the third week, and you took a L clean to Jay, who just lost in the championship. I mean, he got cheated, but we all know, you know how that works. He just lost in the championship. So I don't know. I just don't like it. I won't agree with it. I've gone back and forth with people on Twitter and Instagram about it, and they're just like simplifying. Like, of course, well, duh, Jay was going to win. Blah blah blah. I'm like, bro, that's not Jay winning. Isn't the problem? Some people were like, well, Ilya should have won because you could have had Ilya versus Gunther on Raw next week. It's like, bro, come on, man. Like, this isn't the Vince McMahon era. This is Triple H. Triple H is not going to throw away a historic, one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time, Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther versus Walter in 2020, I think, and for the NXT UK title. He's not going to throw the history of that away and throw the opportunity to do a rematch of that amazing match on a Monday Night Raw. He's not going to do that. Triple H is smarter than that. He understands there's Bash in Berlin later. There's potentially SummerSlam. You're trying to bring the European Championship back. That would probably be a cool little way to do it, right? Have Ilya be your first European champion. Cool, right? So I get Jay winning. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. But the way he won is my problem. Again, that's just the way. Just the execution is my problem. All right, I'll move on. I want to talk about a little bit more about Lyra Valkyria. Again, she's getting over with the crowd. That's not what I expected. I'll be honest. I knew Lyra was talented in the ring. I knew she could put on a good match, and I knew she'd be a welcome addition to this women's division because it needed more Lyra Valkyrias, more people who could actually go. But what I didn't expect was her to get over. Like, they've done a good job of kind of pairing her with Becky, which they did a really good job when Lyra was in NXT. But the crowd is starting to do the woo, dun-dun-dun, woo, dun-dun-dun, woo, during her entrance music, which was cool. I was like, ooh, I wasn't expecting that. Shout out to the South Carolina fans for that Raw. They did an excellent job. They were them people was into the entire night. They gave Io Sky, um, like they gave her a pop. Like they popped for Io. Most of these other idiot fans, for some reason or another, do not give Io much of a fan reaction, which never made sense to me. She's amazing. Like she's everything. She's Ricochet with even better than Ricochet to me. So yeah, I just shout out to the South Carolina fan. They were amazing all night. But again, to Lyra, I thought she killed it in the ring. Again, she had a great match with Zoe Stark. She had a really good match with Asuka. She's now involved in this damage control situation, which will obviously put her on an even higher platform. So I'm really excited for this. I think Lyra, I think we might get, I got to look at, well, I guess it's the Raw side of the bracket. So we're probably going to get Lyra. Yeah, we're going to get Lyra versus Io. Yeah, I should, duh. They faced off on Monday. We're going to get Lyra Valkyria versus Io next week. Banger. Like, I haven't even seen the match yet. Hasn't occurred yet. I know it's going to be a banger. If they give them time, it's going to be a banger. So again, Lyra Valkyria has been an amazing call up so far in the women's division. Amazing. So really looking forward to that. Shout out to Lyra. But I do want to talk about the Queen of the Ring tournament and the King of the Ring all together. Amazing so far. I think Triple H understood that what made King of the Ring so good is because if you have a really good mid card or a lower upper card, your King of the Ring tournament is going to be amazing, right? It's going to have intrigue. It's going to have former champs, future champs, right, going against each other. Like it's going to have everything you need, and so that's why I think this was the perfect year to do the King of the Ring. They've done King of the Ring before when the mid card, like when they did it when my dude, golly, I'm forgetting my guy from New Day. He was a king of the. He won the King of the Ring. That wasn't the best mid card back then, right? It was kind of washed. Like they had like, Boogs or whatever the dude's name was. They had like random people in there. Where now it's like real hitters in the King of the Ring tournament. Like you got Gunther, you got Randy Orton, you got LA Knight, you got, you know what I'm saying? Like you got some good dudes in this tournament. You know what I mean? Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio's in the King of the Ring, right? AJ Styles, I'm pretty sure is in that thing. Yeah, AJ Styles. You got Mello, you got some young guys, Tonga, you got Bobby Lashley. Like it's stacked. This thing is stacked, and so Sheamus, and so I think it's just been really good both sides, men's and women's, and I think it's just showcasing the level of talent in WWE right now, right? Like you got Sheamus going out in the first round. You got you got Rey Mysterio going out. You got Ricochet going out in the first round. Finn Balor going out in the first round. Like that type of talent is kind of just right now just being thrown out in the first round, and rightfully so. Like all of them should have lost. Like right now, there hasn't been other than really there hasn't really been a bad booking decision in regards to wins, who won, who lost so far to me. So yeah, I'm really excited for this tournament. I think they've done a great job, and I think the good thing is that they're also using it to progress storylines. It's not just wins, loss. Like, offend not to take shots at AEW, but there are times where AEW does tournaments and it doesn't progress any storylines. It's just, oh, you won. You're in the gold bracket. So you won, and now you're in the blue bracket, and there's no storyline. Nothing comes from it other than just a match, and that's it. So I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited for the finals for this too. And really, each match has been really good. Like they've let them cook. Like they haven't shortened the matches. They've really let them go. So I appreciate that. Shout out Triple H for that. Yeah, Queen of the Ring again, same thing. Io's killing it. Nia Jax, some of the top women on the women's side is kind of different. So some of the top women aren't participating this year because they're so young. The women's division is so young. They got Tiffany Stratton. They got, you know what I mean? So you don't necessarily have, you don't even have Liv Morgan. You don't have Becky Lynch. You don't have, Bianca Belair, you know, Charlotte Flair, any of these people in this thing. So it's very interesting to watch the juxtaposition between the men's tournament and the women's tournament. Women's is a lot more future led, where the men's is more veteran led with a few, you know, newcomers in there along the way. All right, and now we can talk about the NXT call-ups. Just in general, I think the draft has been great so far. I think Melo getting called up. We'll talk about him a little later, but he's been amazing. Again, like I talked about, gushed about Ilya Dragunov. He's been amazing so far. Tiffany Stratton, Lyra Valkyria, even Baron Corbin coming back. Right, that was a welcome ad. And we haven't even really got started with Braun Breaker yet, really. Towards a definitive storyline and a program, haven't even got started with him yet. So yeah, so far, has been really, really good. Again, Creed Brothers added a lot to the tag division. And yeah, I'm really excited to see the future of these call-ups. I think Triple H knows this is honestly, a generational class. Like, there's been call-ups before where it's like, oh, okay, there's a guy. Where this one, you legitimately might have three, this is high praise, but three potential, Hall of Famers. You have Melo, Braun Breaker, Ilya. In the men's side, just the men's side alone, that's three potential, Hall of Fame level careers if they really stick on do what they need to do and stick on the trajectory that they're on. That's generation. You don't get that in the usual classes. You might get one, maybe on your best day too, but three, that's tough to do. Really, really hard to do. Women's side, again, Tiffany Stratton is a superstar. She will be at the top of the division really, really, really soon, right? Lyra Valkyria, amazing call up. She's now on the trajectory to be on top of the division even faster than I thought. So again, this is one of those classes I think they'll be able to look back 5-6 years from now and be like, oh, that was the class that really changed the game. Sort of like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's class, and the Shields class, things of that nature. So yeah, I'm really looking. I think the NXT call-ups have been amazing. I thought they put them on the right brands. Let Ilya really cook on Mondays. Mondays is a little more about. Mondays has more eyes, I would say, just because they have more heavy hitters, but also, they've put some really good people on SmackDown. There's some really young, exciting talent on SmackDown. So you really want to tune in for that too. And you got the bloodline there. So you automatically got eyeballs on that. We did see that Cody is going to go against Logan Paul. We know anytime Saudi Arabia is involved, look over your shoulder. Say basically say Saudi Arabia 3 times and Logan Paul will show up, essentially. And so yeah, this is an interesting choice. Some people didn't like it. They didn't like that the US title was being distracted by the, being taken hostage almost and put into a main event storyline to where the US title is now not up for grabs for somebody else. However, I do think it's a smart booking decision because you have your entire mid card or upper mid card tied up in the King of the Ring tournament. So it's a perfect time to do this because now you're not taking time away from them. They're occupied. They have a goal. They have a crown they're going for. So you're good. You got them settled over here. Now over here, you have Logan Paul, Cody, which I think could be a really good match because I think other than Seth Rollins, well, actually, now that I think of Logan's really he's been in some matches with some ring generals, actually, especially that match with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. He's been in the ring with some ring generals, but I think Cody's going to give him a little bit of another level of a lesson, because Kevin got to give him a little bit of a one-on-one lesson when they went against each other, but I think really Cody's going to be able to lay into him even more, just like, hey, this is how you sell. This is how you take your time. Don't overdo it, right? don't give him too much, but also like when you give it to him, give it, little secret stuff that, only a guy of the caliber of Cody Rhodes would be able to give. So I think it's a smart decision. I think it brings more attention, obviously, international attention, global attention, mainstream attention to this card and to this match. But also, I think it's just good time, right? There's no other time where the mid card, all of your mid card, upper mid card, lower, upper card is going to be occupied, so this is the perfect time to do it. So it works. It's business wise, it works. And, it's good for Cody to have a good opponent. And I like, and me, I'm always for a champion trying to go for another championship. Like, I'm always for that. Because, like, who in real life is going to be like, yeah, I'm the champ? There's this other, like if I'm the MVP of a basketball league and there's another basketball league where there's an MVP opportunity on the like MVP like award up for grabs. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna just sit here. I'm gonna go want to get that one, and then I'm gonna try to get the other one. Like, it's very like realistic to me, Like, just like I kind of wish they would have pushed it even more with Roman. Like, you telling me the tribal chief doesn't want every single title in the bloodline? Like, and they pushed it a little bit, but I thought they could have went even deeper. They could have went to him going for the NXT title, him going for North American, him going for the Intercontinental, US, like, all that, especially in times where like you have kind of a smaller, PLE coming up. That could have been really where you add Roman and it makes it bigger. But so again, I'm always for champions going for other titles. Always down for that. And lastly, in regards to this, I do want to talk about the IC title and the Alpha Academy storyline. I'm enjoying it. I missed one episode that apparently was really crucial to their storyline. Other than, I saw obviously where, Gable turned on the Alpha Academy and started talking crazy to him. But after that, I think I missed a crucial moment where he kind of really laid into him even more. And so, but I am interested in this IC title triple threat because I think it is a good opportunity to get the title off of Sammy. I think Sammy's good, but I think now it's time to progress it forward a little bit. And I think this is the time to put the belt on Bronson Reed. I think Bronson Reed has been amazing so far. He, no matter who he's with, he kills it. He's a dominant type of champion, and he can go with anybody. He can go with a young guy. He can go with a Ricochet, but he can also go with a Gunther, or a Sheamus or somebody like that. So I would say either Gable, obviously Gable, or Bronson Reed. I'd be okay with either one. But if Sammy retains, I'd be a little disappointed, just because at this point he beat Gunther. Cool. I still think that's absolutely nuts, but unless we have Dragunov making the beeline for the IC title, I don't know. I don't know. I'd rather either him go for the title. If Ilya doesn't go for that IC title, I want to see somebody else. And honestly, I'd be okay because with Ilya being a babyface, I kind of would. If he goes for the IC title, I would rather him go against a heel. Obviously, I don't want Ilya versus Sammy, and then the crowd has to choose. You know what I mean? I don't want that, especially for Ilya, the momentum. I want Ilya to go against a heel, Gable, and they're gonna have bangers of matches. They're gonna have great matches. Think of how many German suplexes you're gonna see in that match. So that'd be fun. All right, now let's get to my top 5. Basically, my top 5 today is my top 5 gimmicks that I'm enjoying right now. Number 5, I'm really enjoying the Bianca and Jade tag team, the tag team championships, and they're like being together. I am interested with this whole Bianca knee injury thing. She is selling the hell out of that thing. Probably a little too much, to be honest. Maybe interviews and she'd be like, it'd be like, hey, Bianca, what are your thoughts on global warming? She'd be like, my knee. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. My knee hurts. You'd be like, Bianca, hey, I get it. Your knee hurts. You talked about you sold that well in the match before, but we don't need to literally like you need to go get that checked out if it hurts that bad, So Bianca can lay off a little bit on that part, but I am interested in what it means moving forward. Something's going to happen regarding that knee. They don't like in the Triple H era. He doesn't drop hints and then not pay off. That's just what he does. He's really good at that stuff. But I am enjoying their run. I think it's going to give a lot more women spotlight as far as tag teams. Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, teams of that nature. And I'm also excited. I'm really enjoying. I like the Jade Piper Niven match. That was really good. They was talking about Jade doesn't take bumps. She was taking plenty of bumps, and that bumps by one of the biggest girls in the ring. And Piper, shout out to Piper Niven. She's amazing. I've always said she's really good in the ring and should get more of a singles run. She had some really good matches with Rhea back in the day. So yeah, enjoying those tag team titles. You gotta. I am interested in this bloodline thing, right? We obviously had some change, some additions. Tomatonga and his brother is in and Solo and the Paul Heyman dynamic has really added something cool to it. And the fact that Solo is kind of, I am a little confused. So is it that Solo took over the tribal chief duties? Because I feel like there was a moment where he was saying he was the guy. Like it felt like that. But in this latest episode of SmackDown, he's basically saying like, I talked to Roman. Roman's gave me the green light. He's basically Roman is the tribal chief, and I'm running things until he comes back, right? And he's basically saying like, I didn't like that Paul Heyman. I didn't like that you took him out of the draft because you lowered our value. You took money out of our family's pockets. You know what I mean? You took food off our table. And he made, Paul apologize and things of that nature. So I am interested in where this is going to go, very much so. I think it's giving the bloodline storyline a little juice again, because now we're like, all right, who the next Samoan relatives are going to pop up out of the, underneath the ring. So that's really cool to see. The next one is Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. That rivalry, man, they've been cooking with that rivalry. The Monday night before where, Drew rolls up, he's disqualified from the King of the Ring due to injury. Drew just rolls up. He's pissed looking for Punk. Punk ain't there. He drives off. Punk rolls up behind him, looking for Drew, calls out Drew, tells him to come back. He doesn't come back. And Punk talks trash about him. Then this latest episode where Drew comes out, Punk isn't there, but Drew is really talking crazy to him. And obviously Damian Priest comes out and they have their whole thing about a future potential title shot for Drew McIntyre. But I think overall, man, I saw somebody say something on Twitter about like, have we ever seen two injured guys do this well in pushing a story forward? Usually if a guy's injured, he's pretty much useless. Or if both guys are injured, like they don't see TV for a while until they're good to go. And the fact that these both can keep us interested with just words alone, like that's the beauty of wrestling, honestly. Like the fact that CM Punk and Drew can keep us entertained via tweets, via promos, via backstage videos, all that stuff. Kicking off new rivalries due to the fact that they hate each other. Like all that stuff is really, really good, man. And I'm really enjoying their rivalry. Again, like I didn't know, like if you'd have told me in 2020 that hey, Drew is a champ, but in 4 years he's not even gonna need a championship because he's so nice on the mic. Like if you would have told me that, I would have bet you $100, and I would have been extremely confident I was getting my money. Like, but now Drew is amazing on the microphone. You could tell he's being natural. He's being himself, just a little turned up with heel on the back end. But like, yeah, he's doing a great job. CM Punk's doing great too. CM Punk seems like back at home. He's just doing. They're both really. CM Punk was always great on the mic, so we knew that. but it felt like it upped Drew's game, and Drew's really been killing it before CM Punk even got there. So that just took it to another level. And I want to talk about Carmelo Hayes. I think Carmelo Hayes has been doing a great job so far, man. I think they've done a good job of keeping his character the same. What I was so worried about with Melo was I was worried they was going to bring Melo in and be this white hot, like this white hot baby face, still be Melo Hayes, but basically scrap everything that he was doing as far as NXT and making him and then I thought they were going to make him a baby face and try to get the crowd into this new hip black guy, and we got to change his music and all. Like I trusted Triple H more than that, but I was a little worried heel babyface how they were going to go. I'm so glad they're going with the heel Melo, because to me, Melo's personality right now is basically like, hey, I'm one of the top draft pick, like basically like almost like a sports, like very relative to sports. Like I'm a top 5 draft pick. I'm that dude. Any veteran in the locker room that got a problem with it, they got a problem with me. It's fine. You're just jealous type of situation. And he's been doing that to a T, like excellently. Like the way he was talking to Bobby Lashley, the way he's talking to Baron Corbin, to Randy Orton. He's the line when he was like, they talk about the most important letters in sports entertainment, RKO. Well, I think the most important letters, he said something like that, are HIM, him. Because, Melo always says, I am him. So, man, like that was really good. Again, Melo's and he's done well in the ring. He backs it up in the ring. But I just thought, man, Melo is on the way. Like, Melo is on the way, brother. Like, after this match with Logan, I would love to see Melo have a title, pretty soon. That's why having Logan have the belt is kind of tough, because it blocks a guy like Logan Paul. It blocks a guy like Melo or LA Knight, right? So I'm interested in that. But every week from now on, I'm going to be interested in the interactions Melo has with vets, with Kevin Owens, with all the Rey Mysterio, all these older guys. But like Melo's on that, like, hey, I'm the new fresh version. Hey, old heads, you guys go sit down. I got it from here type of energy, and which I really appreciate. So I'm definitely looking forward to Melo's storyline so far. But yeah, those are my top 5 gimmicks right now that I'm really enjoying. I need to tap back in AEW. I need to tap back in. They've made some moves that I wasn't too fond of, and I heard Mercedes Moné is kind of struggling a little bit, so I'm hoping they get that right. But overall, pretty solid. Oh, I also want to talk about how they are potentially talking about moving PLEs from Saturday back to Sunday. It's talked about being a permanent change later down the line if they think that's a beneficial business decision. But they did talk about how they're going to have TKO weekends where they're going to have the slap boxing, the stupid ass sport of slap boxing on a Friday. Then they're going to have in the same arena, a UFC card on a Saturday, and then in the same arena have a WWE PLE Premium Live event on Sunday. I don't know if that's a great idea, because I think people assume that these 3 sports have similar fan bases, but they don't. They really don't. Like WWE has a 10 times bigger female fan base, 10 times bigger kid fan base, all that. So yeah, I don't know if I like that, honestly, but I get it. Like if you're TKO, that's an investment that also stamps that you made the right decision in buying it and purchasing the UFC and WWE. Which I think they know they did. I think they made a ton of profit based off WrestleMania and Berlin, Backlash in France, and things of that nature. So I said Berlin, but Backlash in France. But I am interested in seeing the business dynamic affect the product, because I really love Saturday PLEs. They've been great. They've been great since they started doing it in 2020. You know what I mean? Like, it's been really good. And honestly, I feel like they've got more popular reviews on their PLEs due to it going to Saturdays. I don't know if that has to do with anything, but like, ever since it's been on Saturdays, it's been a lot better than what it used to be on Sundays. It used to be on Sundays, you'd be like, "Oh, that was rough," you know. And a lot of that had to do with Vince McMahon having the pin. But even still, it just makes you feel better once you watch an early PLE on a Sunday. You still got that next day to do whatever you need to do. You know, still got that chill Sunday. You ain't gotta worry about, oh, I gotta watch PLE and then get ready for, then go to bed, or it's too late or anything. So, but yeah, just want to give like some business perspective on the back end. But I'm excited again. I trust Triple H on these decisions. I'm excited for King and Queen of the Ring and that PLE and moving through the summer, getting ready for SummerSlam. So till next time, we out. Yeah.